So, pleasant welcome to this midweek in Liberia. We are in Monrovia, just in Congo town in the Stop and Shop Daily. This is Intel Sports. This is a regular evening show that comes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. It's a 90-minute show that highlights sporting events of diverse background. Tonight, we've got three topics on the plate. We talk football. We talk product of football with respect to one team that's supposed to represent Liberia in continental competition, staging a tournament to prepare themselves for both that competition and the domestic league football as well. And then away from those two footballing stories, we talk also basketball. As Liberia U18 team get prepared to play in the Ivory Coast. Okay, so we are hopeful to have three guests in the next 90 minutes or so. Firstly, we'll talk Pinsville FC following the amazing run that won them the knockout of the Orange Cup a few months ago. Late goal for Lawrence Kume cost them the victory, or gave them the victory against Invincible 11 RE. They are preparing in a competition of their own, a tournament of their own, named styled the Pinsville Cup. We have Melvin George, who is the chairman of the organizing committee, to answer our concerns relating to that competition. Away from that, the National Third Division draw was held exactly 24 hours ago, or just over 24 hours ago. We are live at the football hospital, the competition manager, Joel Fremont, who's going to give us a detail of the draw and tell us, when the competition starts and what are the challenges. If there is new format for the competition, let us know, because in the last 3-4 years, we've seen them converge at one venue to play, whether it is in the Leeward countries or whatever you would call it or so, but they all meet at one venue and play. But in the last 24 hours, we've learned that the committee of the Liberia Football Association resolved that this time the whole format will not be used. So Joel Freeman will answer all those concerns. And then Calvin Dees, the Secretary General of the Liberia Basketball Federation, is going to come on later on in the program to talk about the Liberia team preparation for the competition in Ivory Coast. So my guests are those ones I just named. My mate on the show is Trojan Terrier Renard. Welcome, brother.
Thanks a lot, Ben, and let me say a pleasant good evening to everyone. We're here again to talk sports on Sports Talk.
How's your midweek? How's your weekend? Because I'm just seeing you since Friday, parted ways.
I think I forgot how my weekend was because it's been a while now.
You forgot the weekend went?
Yeah.
So it was pretty jolly good.
It was as usual, but of course, we're down the middle of another week. So I think I can tell you that the week, of course, began with a bit of cool, but we're trying to measure up and stay afloat.
How's little Molly?
Huh?
How's little Molly?
Oh, that guy is okay, just causing hell, that's all.
Okay, so that's the lineup. 7:05 is the correct time, or 7:06 is the correct time. Anywhere you are following us in Liberia, if you're in the diaspora, you might be watching us through our Facebook links and also YouTube as well. So stay there when you can, but if you can, because when we come back, we look at trending issues in sports before we have our guests on. Okay, welcome back. I think there was a little technical adjustment. I was sounding a little bit dead, but the line has been restored. Let me apologize for that. Okay, so Trojan is still here. Um, what is trending? Do we have some amazing news? Obviously, we have our two athletes who qualify for the Paris Olympics, but they've been involved in other competition. And things have been coming up goldenly. Do you want to keep it abreast?
Well, we've just stumbled upon the fact that Liberia's two representatives, of course, Ebony Morrison and Joseph Famule, they're participating in the African athletic competition. So news is now coming that, in fact, after winning 4 medals, 2 silvers and 2 bronze, or you want to say 2 bronzes, at the 13th African Games that was held in Accra, Ghana, in March of this year. Team Liberia, of course, continues to show impressive performance at the 23rd African Athletics Championship in Douala, Cameroon. Now, this time, Ebony Morrison triumphed in the women's 100-meter hurdles after missing out on an individual medal at the African Games. Morrison made history by winning Liberia's first ever gold medal at the African Championship on Saturday. That was June 22, surpassing her own national record of 12.74 seconds. Just
that is wonderful. Okay, I will just continue from there. 12.74 second set at 20 Summer Olympics with time of 12.70 seconds. Morrison edged South Africa's Marianne Fourie, who won silver. Saturday's result also secured Morrison's ticket to the 2024 Olympics. At the previous edition of the championship, Morrison won Liberia's first ever silver at the championship after clocking 12.86 seconds behind South Africa's Fourie, who finished in 12.82 seconds. Later on Saturday, Joseph Famule, Liberia's first ever Olympic finalist, won the country's second gold medal at the competition. In the men's 100-meter final, Famule finished first ahead of Emmanuel Isimi, the home favorite, in 10.13 seconds to 15.15 seconds to win his first ever African title. South Africa's Benjamin Richardson scooped the bronze with 10.17 seconds before Famule won Liberia's second gold of the competition. Maya McCall announced herself in the championship with a silver in the women's 100-meter, carrying on from where she left off at the African Games. Bina Betayi of the Gambia finished first with a time of 11.14, followed by McCall with a time of 11.16. So after winning the first at the African Games in Accra, this was her second individual silver 4 months after. Well, what else can we say? Liberia sports athleticism, to be specific, on this occasion has come up to the fore. Congratulations to Joseph Famule. Congratulations to McCall. Congratulations to Morris as well, and all Liberian athletes competing in the competition. They've done as well. Famule winning 2 gold. Obviously, you have to say, well, he's just too big on the African continent, which is why he's got the opportunity to represent the red, white, and blue at the Paris Olympic in July, which is just next month. So that will do it for athletics. And next, we're going to reflect on some other issues that have been trending, which happens to be our core conversation on tonight. I mean, talking about the National Third Division
playoffs. Okay, I think Joel Freeman will come on around about 7:20, 7:25. We have been told. But once and if he comes on, he's going to reflect on that draw, not what is going to happen on the pitch between the teams, but off the pitch, the preparation from the competition department. How do they face this challenge of taking the playoff back to the counties following conditions that the rules are deplorable at this point in time? More so, the clubs are not empowered enough, even the FA, to host them in the proposed host city, which was Nima County. Okay, but Joel will explain more that the organizations of the referees that are going to turn up and play in these competitions. He will reflect on that. And if he's on, I think it's best for us to get Joel. I just thought he was going to come on just close to 7:20. But this is Sports Talk on Intel Sports. My name is Ben Garba. Joel Freeman getting snippet of him on the screen. Live footages have shown him. He's in the background with the coat and white t-shirt on a Wednesday, and probably if you like a little bit cold and wet Wednesday evening. Joel, let's say a pleasant welcome. I hope you've taken your seat.
Um, Good evening, Ben, and thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you. And I mean, we couldn't have been prouder or fortunate to have you on the platform. What is the status right now of the regional third division or the third division playoff? What do we know?
The third division playoff is set and ready to move. We had the draw a couple of days ago, officially pairing teams in order to play. This year, we've designed a new platform, a new pattern and format of the competition, um, in line with the statutes of the LFA, allowing our teams to play into regions as per the statute. You recall vividly the financial issues we've had, the distances teams cover in order to honor playoff games, recognizing these things and how difficult sometimes they've been. We thought to review the way we want to play and also take the games back to the community, take the games back to the people who actually own these teams to allow them see their teams play and see how far their sons can go in a competitive environment. So the 2024 playoff, unlike previously mentioned, Nima County, yes, we'll still go to Nima, but we'll go to Nima for senior and grand finals. As of now, the clubs will play in their respective counties on home and away basis.
Okay. How do you anticipate this change in format with matches being played in zones will affect the overall dynamics and competitiveness of this playoff?
We're still going to have a competitive environment. The tournament will still be we'll still have our players highly engaged. I see more engagement now through this module. You realize that the county, communities, or the cities will take charge. You see that the followers or following of these teams will also increase. Like I said in my opening statement, we have a desire to put the league or put the teams, the people in line with their teams. We want to have them follow, we want to have them support going up to senior levels. Now it starts from here. Gives the team owners or officials less financial burden in terms of transportation, accommodation, and other basic needs of the team. Because when you travel far, there are a lot of issues you have to settle as a team. And third division teams in our country, they are not financially right to meet up with a lot of these obligations. And at times, when you get to a central region to participate, then it affects their concentration. So, we want to have a space where the players and the club owners will be relaxed or much more relaxed, and then they can play far better than a normal situation.
So, Joel, I'm just thinking, what specific challenges have arisen or has emerged during the limitations of road network, and how do these challenges influence the decision to modify the competition format? Because I know the road in the southeast isn't that good. Teams from Montserrat complain a lot. So how have these factors influenced the competition format?
To some extent, um, it had an impact on the decision, but it's not a wholesome level. There are 15 counties. Monserrado alone cannot decide how the other teams or how the other clubs will get involved. Um, Let me say, you talk about road challenge is a factor. If you look across, teams come from far places. Covering the distance is one thing. Going through these bad roads, something else, and then having the resources to commute your team from point A to B has been challenging. Um, Last year we had playoff in Monserrado. When teams get evicted from the competition, going back home is a challenge. Um, we see players struggle a lot to go down begging people. Sometimes the officials of the club are not even strong enough to meet up with these financial constraints. But we cannot be insensitive to the plight of our people. So looking at some of these things firsthand, we thought to create an environment where the clubs will play, the players will feel much closer, and then the stress or burden will be far reduced than it has ever been.
What is it going to mean economically, the economic value of the competition over the last 4 years to the FA or to the clubs in the form of gate intake, supporters turning up, buying ticket and going through the venues? Obviously, when we start to play in the home and away format, to a larger extent, the FA is not going to control that gate intake, and not all the venues across the country that will be used are fenced where supporters can pay and get in.
Yeah, so venues for the players, they're controlled by the sub association or the clubs. We're not interested in the gate proceeds. We're more interested in empowering our teams to show up. So the home teams are going to take the trunk, if not all of the getting takes. They want to handle basic things and ensure that they make their teams available to play. It also going to mean the team will have a trigger growth in terms of their followers. Ben, it's a different feeling when you play Team A and Team B from one county. I mean, you play in the same league over and over. But then you get out of a place where you have to compete to go to a higher level, and then you've been paired against someone from another space or someone from another county. So you're having two counties going against each other back to back. So assuming I'm County A or I'm the team based in County A, when I'm preparing for my home game, there's this form of publicity that people will have to do to ensure that people come at the games. Now, some people will come to the game not because they just want to see football. They want to see who are these people coming. And by coming to see the other people that are coming to play, you have to make some contribution at the gates, which is in terms of getting take. It goes to that home team. It helps them to get stronger and face a challenge ahead. It also going to provide mental boost for the players as well. Playing in front of home fans is a form of motivation. Taking 30 or more clubs from different counties to converge at a particular county have also over the years given some sort of advantage in terms of motivation from home crowds. This time I want to give you the fair play to move across and ensure that you have the best of the best being displayed.
I'm sorry, Trojan will come in, but before he does, you talk about fair play. What is a measure of fair play, honesty, integrity in these competitions, considering the considerable distance between zonous areas and the travels that have got to be made? Obviously, those zones must be super vast. You and I know fairness, integrity, and honesty are three bedrocks of competition in football. How do you intend to measure these three factors given the distance and between those zones?
First thing, Ben, the department or the LFA is Liberia. I mean, it's not just a football association, it's Liberia Football Association. Nationwide, we have people who implement the policies, who execute our competition modules across the leagues. Um, Obviously, you don't have all of your members at the level you want them to be, but we have a lot of credible people, we have a lot of knowledgeable people consistent with the principles we've always pushed. So, in terms of credibility of the games being played across, yes. Like I told you the last time I was on your show, we embarked on the digital enrollment system. Now that system is centralized. Part of the way you want to control the games is to ensure that the registration or the players' enrollment are classified in a particular space that you can observe and ensure that who has been eligible from day one continues to be eligible up to the last. We succeeded in that, and this playoff will see us use the FIFA Connect system for the first time in our third division playoff history. As I'm talking to you, all of the clubs listed on the fixtures for this year's edition of the playoff have enrolled their players and they've been verified, or the verification is also ongoing for a few other steps that's left. And it's going to be centralized. The LFA central office is going to observe registration. We're going to dispatch our members based on the fixtures, based on the location of these games to supervise. We want to ensure that the spirit of fairness, like I said initially, is kept high and the best team wins.
Okay, let me just come in. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not
It's your
coming to cat to
no, it's your turn.
church.
I've been cheating you.
No, but Joel, thanks again for availing yourself. Tell us how many teams you're talking about here, how many groups, how many teams, how long will the group stage last, and then what happens after the group stage? Because we see group one team traveling from one county to another to play. So just walk us through, after the group stage, what happens next up to where we get to the final qualifying rounds.
Okay, so this year we're going to have 28 participants in the playoff, and then these participants are going to cover all of our counties or sub associations nationwide. The league has been placed into various categories: preliminaries, Big 15 in the team knockout stage, the quarterfinals, semi, and then the grand final. Now, in the preliminary stage, we have the teams grouped in four zones. Now, the zones does not have equitable distribution of clubs. The distribution is based on the entries made by the county or the sub association through their clubs, and then we have them rolled out. So, fast found in The preliminary, we're going to have 28 teams competing. And then after the preliminary, that 28 is going to be reduced to 15. Still playing across the region is a knockout. Let me register that as a knockout competition. We want to play home and away. So, assuming Ben is from county A and then Trojan is from county B, and they've been paired, Ben is going to play Trojan in Trojan's home, and then the vice versa of the same fixture. Based on the aggregated score line from that pairing, the winner will progress to the next stage. So in the Big 15, we'll have teams on different slots, and then we'll have them compete in the same fashion, home and away, up to quarterfinals. That will give us 8 teams. And then from quarterfinals, semifinals. The semifinals will be played in Nima County. Third place match, Nima County. The grand final in Nima County.
So that talk about away goal rule.
Yeah, so
Also
he's
come-
talking about that. He said the team with the best aggregate for the 2 legs will
We're not gonna
qualify.
have
away goals rule.
guys.
Are there away goals rules and all of those factors?
No.
No away goals rules.
Why?
There's no
Africa team away goals rule. So
every
Labra is
competition-
Africa.
No. Every competition is modeled in the way the organizers see things fit.
Feasible?
Yes. Organizing this playoff, the organizing committee, as in the competitions department, competitions committee, and the LFA in general, has approved that we play what their way goal. So if Trojan goes to play Ben and the draw in Ben's home, and then comes to Trojan home, there's a 0 draw. Chief will go to the spot to determine who qualifies.
I heard you talk about Big 15.
Yeah.
So are they playing each other or would they be pairing?
They want to be paired in the same group. So let's know how these things
Glitch.
are going to be. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we had a little glitch, but I think it's better.
Okay. In zone 1, we're going to have 10 teams in zone 1. That zone entails Bomi, Papulu, Hipmount, and Monserrato. So in that zone, after the preliminary, after the first round, you realize that 5 teams will be eliminated. And then we'll play. That zone entirely is going to produce 3 teams because of the number of teams they have already. So we're looking for the top 3 from that group to join the 8 teams in the quarterfinals. The next one is zone 2, entailing Bong, Nimba, and Lofa counties. That zone has a total of 6 teams. And then this zone is going to produce 2 teams to join the Big 8, the quarterfinals. So 3 from zone 1, 2 from zone 2. We have 5 already. Zone the southeast is going to give us 7 teams. In the southeast until Sino, Maryland, Grand Crew, River G, and Penjide. So we're going to have 2 teams as well from this region, making it 7. Zone 4, including Magibi, Bassa, and River Cess, will give us 1 team to make it 8.
One team.
Yes, 1 team to make it. So we did the draw. We can run over the fixtures so that you see how some of these things work out.
Yeah, sure.
And I will start from zone 4, if you like, or you want us to do from 1 to 4. What's your preferred option?
I think we should have to copy up the draw here. So probably we'll just put it on the screen for the benefit of the viewers.
While you go through it.
Yeah, while you go through it, probably you can watch from your screen. So obviously we're going to start with zone 1 and put on the screen all those teams. And then you just go through from there. Well, this is Intersports. You are viewing Sports Talk with Ben and Trojan. So There you have it on your screen, Joel. You can
Okay.
take advantage of the picture there.
So yes, you displayed the play already. Amazing and Bondi. This game is going to be played on the 3rd of July. It's been scheduled to play at the ATS at North Tottenham Stadium at 4 p.m. Amazing FC is a home team in this game. Kanakai and Downtown FC is going to be played at the Medina Stadium in Medina, Kima County. Also going to be played on 3rd July at 4 p.m. And then Blue Lake and Mighty Angels is going to be played at the CSGA Stadium in Bowman County, 4 p.m. On 3rd of July as well. And then Contown FC will play on 4th July at the Medina Stadium, 4 p.m. Whilst Xavier and District 17 Academy will lock horns on the 4th of July at CSGA, 4 p.m. The reverse of these games will be played on 6th and 7th July. Based on the aggregated results, we'll have 5 teams going to the next stage.
Okay, let's look at Zone 2. Having previewed the first leg matches in Zone 1, we can take a chance now to look at Zone 2. I'm trying to time my conversation because I want our viewers to see. There you have it.
Good. So Zone 2 is
What do you laugh?
It's Compa and then Lufa Fulani. This is the game for Zone 2, and that game is going to be played on 3rd July at the Lufa Stadium. At the Compa Stadium in Nima County. In fact, that's the venue we are going to have the grand finals for this year playoff. And then Compa and Lufa Fulani are privileged to play their first game at such venue. Phoebe, who was there, Bain United will play Kusa, the 2 champions, Bon County and Nima County champions. They will play on 4th July at the Compass Stadium also, whilst Phoebe Athletic will host Nima Young Controllers at the David Kuyon Stadium on 3rd July, 4 p.m. So the rest of these games will also be played on the 7th of July.
Okay, so you hear from the competition manager. We've previewed for you Zone 1 and 2 and the venues the matches will be played on. We can also now look at Zone 3. Okay, so there you have it.
Zone 3, the zone of the southeast. So yeah, the zone of the southeast. On July 3, Dreams will play Fishtown. And this game has been scheduled for the J. Green Stadium, already the 2nd division venue used to host Sunday NPA games. So Dream FC is the defending champion of Sando County. We're going to host Fishtown FC or River G. And this game will be played at 4 p.m. J. Green Stadium in Greenville. And then Tycoon and Paris. This game is going to be played on 3rd July at the Martha Tottenham Stadium in Maryland County. Whilst Fina FC will host Young Whalers of Grancoe on 3rd July at the Fishtown Stadium. So I have one team from Raji playing in Greenville, whilst the other team hosting, and then everybody will be busy on 3rd July.
Before you go further to Zone 4, imagine what that is going to be if you have 2 teams from Sino playing in the 2nd division. Already you have, how do you call it, Sino NPA in the 1st division now. So if you see a team from Sino emerging through that qualification and come to the 2nd division, what is that going to mean for Sino football?
It's going to show strength on their part. It's also going to show that there's something about Sino that we need to look at. We've not been looking much closer, but it's a playoff, and there are a lot of teams. So let's wait and see how things
It's too
unfold.
early.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's look at the last but not the least, Zone 4. So I think this is the complexion of it.
Yeah, Zone 4, Susa is going to be paired against Vimois United. They're from Grambassa. So this game will be played also on 3rd July at the Unification Stadium, Smenotes we call it. It's scheduled for 4 p.m. And then Lupus will host Wentown on 3rd July at the Doris Williams Stadium in Buchanan. So Rivers SS
Joel Freeman's competition manager having some glitches there, but this is Sports Talk. We still here. We have him. Make it 38 minutes past 7 o'clock. Let me have a reminder. We still have two of our guests ahead of us. Secretary General, Labrador Basketball Federation, or Association, if you like, Captain Dix will come on to talk about Labrador U18 preparation in the Zuna competition, and also we'll talk Pinsfield Football Club exclusively following the formulation of, I think, the second consecutive
This is the second edition.
second consecutive edition
Yeah.
of the Pinsfield tournament.
And I understand this year they have, a regional team participating. But let's continue with Joel on the third division playoff.
Yeah. Joel, referees, their movement. What sort of referees are we going to see? I understand over 10,000 US dollars. I mean, American money was spent recently in the last 2 weeks by the LFA to train elite referees. For the benefit of our viewers, the elite referees are the pool of referees that officiate in the first division, and a fraction of them are part of the FIFA batch referee list. I think 9 of them. So about 21 are not part of that list, but they all can officiate in first division matches. And then the intermediate referees, almost like a call the national referees, they are in the second pool that can gain promotion depending on their performance to the elite referee. Which groups of those referees we are to see in these playoffs?
The playoff is for referees at highest level, intermediate. Um, is another phenomenon. You want to expose people. You want to show your upcoming breeds of referees the same way we'll be seeing upcoming breed of players as in footballers and new teams as well. It's an environment where you showcase potential referees as well. The intermediate class is not the lowest, neither is it the highest. It's a medium space where referees are not training. Referees trying to explore better means are suited. There are young referees, very, very smart. They're good. I don't want to say exceptional, they're good. And like you just mentioned, we've invested serious money, far more than 10,000 you talked about. Yeah, far more than 10,000. We've invested in the development and now want to expose them to the world. Firstly, beginning with Liberia and see how they can grow. It might interest you to know that the playoff, like, is a breeding ground for players. It's also been a breeding ground for referees. Um, Referees have gone through the playoff and they've done remarkably well. I still remember the likes of Prince Howard, the likes of Prince Brown, Jeremiah Swa. I still recall this guy, Zion, Samuel Zion. Um, I see Woodrow Wilson now officiating as one of the assistant referees in the 1st division. He came from the same national television 2 years ago. He Piambasa, Ujo was one of our assistant referees. He was very, very, very instrumental. We had Anthony Momo at that playoff. That was his first edition. Now you've seen
Mm.
Anthony in a couple of games. Yeah, so let's see what this batch of referee will do and how they can help us push further.
Now, Joel, this competition, of course, is intended to select the best three teams. One of them, obviously, will be crowned champions of the third division playoff, national playoff. But the three of them, I'm sure, will be promoted. Is that it to the FA second division?
Yes, Trojan, that's the goal to promote three teams to second division. And the format or the protocol is that the league champion up and that of the third place winner. So yes, we want to have three teams qualifying to second division at the end of this playoff, and those three teams are going to be the playoff champion. Like we saw with Discoveries last year, runner up like we had Mighty Enforcers, and then third place like we had Philadelphia Lone Star.
Okay, I think Joel has shared everything we need to know concerning the national playoffs. Perhaps something else you want to
Yeah,
chew
I
on?
just want to ask you, Joel, this format going regionally, do you think is going to have an impact on the coaches, the talents who see the experience? You know, what do we look out for? I mean, the officials, the
Uh,
coaches, the
yes, we
players.
want to.
I mean, impact because most of the pitches we'll be playing on will not be artificial turfs that we've been using. Dory Wooden Sports Stadium, Anthony Tottenham Stadium, Tusat Field, SKD practice pitch. What is going to be the expected outcome or impact on
Ben,
players and officials?
we still have our hopes high. We're looking to identify raw talents, talents that are in a stage or in the process of being explored, and that we as in a country can use across our different youth teams. And let's see if bigger clubs as well domestically can tap onto those talents. We might not be playing on the artificial turf like you mentioned, but we play in an environment where the players are comfortable. The players are comfortable at these venues. The venues you will see captured on the fixtures, they are venues the clubs use for their league games. They play several games to qualify. So there's some level of comfort. There's some mode of relaxation in them. So playing a comfortable space will give them more relaxation to push to perform high. And we just want to watch.
And then before we finally flip the issue of security, what much more can the LFA do to ensure safety of players, safety of referees, particularly?
Um, there are laws, there are rules governing the competitions. Um, we as an FA also, we've reached out through our sub associations. Security is key for not just the start, but to ensure that the entire competition goes well, especially where some of these facilities are not clean. Yes, we want to prioritize security.
Well, Joel,
Well, I think, Joel, you've covered up everything. So maybe we could just take leave of you, but perhaps there's something you need us to know. Will there be an official kickoff? Is there a particular
Um,
venue where we
eh,
will have an official kickoff of the tournament?
thank you to Intel Sports for having me. I think it's the second time in 2 weeks to talk about our activities. We're going to have the games played simultaneously, but the official end of the playoff will be held in Nima County. Um, we're going to have the semi-finals, third place, and grand finals in Nima County. As it is right now, we're going to play across the country. Like you listened, as I was reading through the fixtures on July 3. There will be a couple of games. Make your way one of these venues and see how competitive the national third division players will be this year. We hope to see Intel covering our players as well. I mean, it helps. It helps.
Did you make your Intel is here to do anything you want Intel to do?
But I mean, we're grateful for the opportunity, and we're just one call away from providing information relative to the work we do. So, thank you.
It's always nice having you, Joel Freeman, for clearly, explaining football matters to us. Let's say have a pleasant midweek.
Thank you.
Okay, so Trojan, all we need to know, we've heard it about the playoffs and everything is into place. The clubs are ready to compete. I didn't ask you one question. The issue of $50,000 given to each club for preparation. I don't know whether this year the FA has released that funding because it was like that for the past three playoffs or so.
Now, one thing about the third division playoff, you get to know, of course, that the third division is the most difficult, league to play, so to speak, because it's like trying to graduate to another level, and the sheer number of games you have to play to be able to qualify is just mind-boggling. I mean, imagine where you come from. You play in your domestic league, all of the sub-divisions and sub-associations, of course, you play in your domestic league, and then if you are champions or second place, and then you qualify for a let's say county playoff, and then you have to qualify from there to represent the county to the national playoff. And imagine how many, for example, like in Monserrato, how many subdivisions we have in Monserrato alone. So the competition in Monserrato itself is so stiff that when you get from there, of course, before graduating now to the national playoff, and we were talking about 28 teams here from all across the country that have now qualified to the national playoffs. So you go through that marathon, and then finally you qualify to the third division, and that's why it hurts that when you spend just one season in the the second division, then you find yourself back in the third division. It hurts. So I like to say, I really see like passion for those who are still there. A team like Finda FC, for example, from River G, that team is a mainstay. They are always coming, but we've not been, fortunate to qualify. I used to see Enforcers FC from Lofa County. Okay, I think they made it last season, second division, and they're still here. All right. So at times teams will, one team from Monserrato that have always been slipping. I don't even know whether they qualify for 8 this time around. I'm talking about Pepe FC. They were always there, but they didn't make it. So I don't know whether they. I don't think they, because I would have known if they were here. So it's difficult, and that's why the third division playoff is so much a delight, because I think the kids are younger, and the younger you are, you want to play more football. You want to play a lot of football, and that's why, in fact, at the international level, FIFA has agreed, based on a proposal from Liberia's football president Mustafa Raji, that the Under-17 World Cup is played annually instead of the full years.
4 years is too long.
Yeah, because that's very logical. A kid who is 16, 15, going on 17 years, all right? If he plays or if he doesn't have the chance to play this year while he is 16 or she is 16, cannot play by the next time the under 17 World Cup comes back. And that's not fair to them. So I think it's just logical that yes, the under 17 competition be held, a World Cup be held every year so that kids in that age will not be deprived of playing at the under 17 World Cup. So that was a very logical point pushed by Liberia, and of course FIFA has accepted, and that is for me one of the means that Liberia can go to its first World Cup. We came very close, but of course I don't know why they had to give us Nigeria.
And I must mention with respect to that topic, 193 member associations voted, and a total of 189 voted yes to the Liberia proposal, and only 4 voted no.
No.
So that's overwhelming.
So that's overwhelming. That's overwhelming. That's welcoming. So at least
that's a tsunami.
at that level, of course, Liberia, who made the proposal, we're just hoping that we will be there. so we'll be there. We're not there this year. Next year, we'll participate again in the qualifiers. So we hope we'll be there. You know, we're not there on the female side, but I think the male side, something about us participating in some competition. We get the details.
We have a very strong male U17 side, and the structure is still there because it's rooted in the way down there, so from the 15 and 16 years. So recall that in recent times we've activated all the levels of grassroots football. Like you have U10, U12, U15 leagues effectively going on. So in the next 3 or 4 years, I don't think we'll be short of resources, players to play at the level of U17. And I strongly believe if it comes yearly, we can compete in that competition. But
so while we are still awaiting our next set of guests, of course, Melvin Buban George, he is the chairman of the organizing committee of the Pinsville FC off-season competition. Want to know more about that competition that kicks off, I think on Monday? Was it Sunday or Monday? Okay.
I think Monday. Monday.
Heaven 11, there was one result that Heaven 11 was winning today by 2-0 at halftime.
Who were they playing?
Buban George will come on to tell us more about the competition, where is it now, what's in it. I understand fixtures were rearranged, if it may, in a way, not rearranged, but just adjusted so that the team from Guinea, I think a team from Guinea is here to participate, and that team arrived a bit late. That would have affected them if they had played, you know, because they came right around the time they were supposed to play, so they had to readjust in order for them in order for them to rest well, to be able to play well. So we extended our invitation to Melvin George. He accepted, and he's supposed to be here. But we can go over to Calvin Dix so that he tell us about what sort of preparations are we making for the under 18 female basketball team of Liberia to participate in a regional competition until that is supposed to be held in Abidjan, the Ivory Coast. So,
that's I'm trying to establish contact with Calvin Dix as well, doing so even before we could come on air. We've been on air for very nearly an hour and I still can't get in contact with him. But we're talking about the Secretary General who runs the day-to-day affairs of the Liberia Basketball Association. Should be on this platform. The arrangement was made, promise to come on, and he should be at the point. But if we try, we can't get him, then we have to continue with the show, picking different topics to have conversation on. I don't think Captain Dix is going to come on, Trojan.
And talking about going back to what Joe Fambule and Maurice Ebony Morrison are achieving in athletics, I think we're not talking about it much. And that's, the sports media is not lifting it as much as we should. We as a sports media, I think we are a bit guilty of not highlighting other sports in Liberia so that people only think we are about reporting football and probably basketball. But we here at Intel Sports, we try to, level it up. Like last week we had kickball here, talking about kickball. And of course, we want to talk about basketball. It's just that the basketball guy is not coming on. But the thing is, what those two are achieving, are accomplishing, Ben, is something that Liberia winning gold, Liberia winning medals at these competitions. Hey, pray tell me, we used to be, just going there for the sake of it. Okay, just for the sake of it, so that our flag can be among the countries participating in these competitions. But we didn't dream about, winning any medals. But now we have these two athletes who are doing pretty well for us. They've qualified to participate, not just to go and show flag. They've proven that they are competitors amongst those who are in those the track and field events. So I think this is where maybe we need to redirect and say, look, Liberia has got talents, and I'm sure Fambule and Morrison may be residing in America and they're flying Liberia's flag, but it comes back home to say that if we have these people hailing from here and can be nurtured well, with all of what's needed to grow them, they can equally go out there to make the case for Liberia. So it is a good thing. What we're getting from Fambule, I think his father, he's with the Basketball Association. So it's a good thing. So I just hope that we will see this, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the government of Liberia, will see this and be able to work with it and see how best we can use them as examples to encourage other youngsters in high schools, in other places, work with the Liberia National Olympics Committee, and see how the Athletic Association, Liberia Athletic Association, and see how best we can get more of our athletes participating, and not just participating, but competing and winning some of these laurels that we are hearing about. So that's key.
I think
so. Yeah. While we await Melvin Boban George, we hope they come on. You plan the show.
Melvin George? He should be coming on at the time.
You plan the show and the people gave you all the assurance that they will come. You send the link, you call, and of course they are not turning up. Of course,
So I think it's delayed, but delay is not denial. I'm speaking with respect to athleticism and our recent, dominance. I think it's so because we put in a little bit of time some years back. You recall a couple of years back, Joseph Amade announced himself to the world. That was in Tokyo, in Japan. And from that point on, there's no turning back. It has been forward march for him, and finally he got the goal, more than much deserved. We must say congratulations to him. I can understand that there are Liberians but live in the America, but even in the other most popular sports, football, you have players who come from Liberia, Nigeria, whatsoever, to play professional football in England, Spain, and other parts of the world. And when their country need them, they come down for international duty and they compete. So for the moment, it doesn't matter particular where Jose lays. I mean, Jose is a Liberian. He's decided to represent his native land. So he's playing professional track and field, if you like, in America. That he comes down to compete for his country. So none of our concern, none of the issue should it be. We also have local track athletes here who can at times travel with the team and play it as well. And I think everything is going to come with time. But Joe is schooling in America, and so is Morris. And there's an understanding that because of the track and field and playing over the past years, he's been able to secure himself, student scholarship funding and so forth. So it could be a great opportunity, or it is a great opportunity for him and other would-be Liberian athletes who take the game so serious. It could be spotted from here and go to the States. They can school there while they still play professional athleticism, if you like, and gradually they can go on to represent our country. Well, 8:04, this is Intersports. You're watching Sports Talk with me, Ben, and Trojan. This is a midweek edition. If we don't get Calvin Dix, we know the folks there at the Basketball Federation or the association, if you like, they've been playing in some international competition. I don't know how much of planning has been done, but for your own experience, can we compete at that games we're talking about in the Ivory Coast? We're talking about U18 for a very long period of time. I haven't heard about youth basketball. We have a program at YMCA or there, off-season basketball. When the kids are not in school, the parents I think pay $75 registration and they go to play basketball. I understand the program is still going, but I don't see the enthusiasm like it used to be 10, 15 years back.
Well, you're right. We've talked about basketball here on this program. We brought on the officials of basketball in this program. And you're right. Basketball, the guys are doing all they can to keep it afloat. Basketball was dead for, seemingly dead for a couple of years, 4 5 years, due to a rank war about leadership. Of course, we were banned by AFABA, the African Basketball Association, the parent body of basketball. We were banned. So until we get our house sorted out. But thankfully, that has been, settled. Basketball is now being played. The league is on. Sisters Mongers, Mighty Barrow, LPRC Oilers, of course, are still the big teams in the competition. So Bushra Bulls as well. But the competition is kind of a bit low key due to one or two factors that will include the venue. The games have been played now at the SKD Gymnasium. Yes, Pinsville is a very populated city, in Liberia. In fact, it's one of the most populated city in Liberia. But at the time, the games used to be at the Open Air Sports Commission on Broad Street. Though as little as the place is, you used to have people trooping in from all walks of life because of where the games were being played. And then secondly, there was more publicity. And so
do you think there are less publicity now?
I think now the publicity is far less.
Why do you say so? I can see those flyers in various chat rooms beginning today and so forth.
I think various chat rooms.
I think location. I think location is the most important thing.
Location
Yeah.
is one of the factors.
Accessibility to the venue.
Accessibility to the venue
is another thing.
Yes.
That's really a central town. That's a hub of the city.
So that's why I said for several factors, and one of the factors I made has to do with where the games have been played. All right. So that plus the lack of real media publicity. You know what I'm talking about? Basketball has been dead for a couple of years. To have it come back and have people, attending the games. Most of the games you go there, the gym is empty.
So you think they need a robust media?
Yes, the gym is empty. The gym, you will have big game. If you have others playing Barrow, for example, think about it. That the gym will be full to capacity. All right. Even if you were playing like Wednesday, the games will be full. Secondly, probably we are in a rainy season as well. All of those are factors. But what is happening now? Of course, basketball is back. We are glad.
Why we can then schedule the league for the dry season so as to enable people to come.
I think
we don't have an issue with the court like covering, unless we had a sports commission that place cover, so rain will not be an issue. But typically,
you go into the game,
move around when it is raining. Yeah, I can understand that point. So why then can we drag the season to the
I think it is organized in a way so that our clubs can be ready in time to play continental basketball. I think probably that's why.
But even at that, in the Champions League, we have some clubs may not even be having domestic football league, and they are competing in the Champions League. Yep.
No, but you don't.
So all the football is season and campaign are in the scene. Have the same start date and end date and so forth. So you can't start yours at the time it's going to fit you. Okay, the weather is favorable. The assumption is that people will come outside.
Probably we organize it at a time that will be convenient to us. We already know who our champions are. If it is the female and male that will be going, so we already know our champions. So when the time comes, we just send it. And we don't want a situation like during the rainy season, and then we're playing basketball, which is supposed to be an indoor sport, but because of our condition here, it is almost like an outdoor sport.
So there you have it. Talking about the season now starting at the same time. Currently, we have CAF Confederations Cup, CAF Champions League coming up around about August. Are you aware? Mm-hmm. Now, when we start playing those two big competitions in August, our league is not on. Our league starts in September. It is none of CAF's business, to say when we should start our league and when we should end the league. And they are not responsible either if we don't get prepared and be competitive, because all those situations have got advantage and disadvantage. When our teams are playing actively into the league week in, week out, week in, week out, it gives them good preparation for the CAF or the Champions League competition. As it is now, the league is closed. It is closed a couple of weeks, if not months. And then you have Pinsville and Liska should be representing us. Quite recently, like we said, at about now, Pinsville and Watanga, I'm sorry. Well, Liska, come on. So Pinsville scheduled friendly matches in preparation for the season and this competition. I'm quite frankly sure what Tanga are going to do.
Let's say Watanga is participating in the Pinsville Cup. This tournament, I don't think is because Pinsville has a CAF.
So you think that it's a regular stuff?
It's a regular thing. So
But even at this point, they can be
it's good. It's an added advantage. All right, see it as an added advantage that, you know, with this competition they will be you know, preparing their teams and all of that. The last time we spoke with the president of Watanga FC right here on this program, he did tell us about, you know, the how they will be using this particular tournament also to prepare their team and all of that. So it's good. It's another advantage, but it's an annual thing. So whether they had qualified or not, we're still going to see this competition. But you're right, though. When the league is ongoing and teams are playing in and out, week in, week out, week in, week out, and going to international competitions, and of course, it means the players are already match fit. They are in form, you know, physically and all of that, because that's why teams have something called preseason, because you need the players after they've taken the break. Because if a league is on break, the players must be given time, all right, to go and rest, you know, take their vacation. Every work you do, you got to take vacations. So footballers too, they've got the right to vacation. So if the league is on break, that's when the players are on vacation. And you don't know how many of them will be controlling themselves, meaning discipline. I mean, they're off work, they can do things that they wouldn't do if they were on the job regularly. So, like for example, will they train twice a day? All right. Will they be going to bed at a certain time because we have a match tomorrow? Since we don't have tomorrow, I can board the whole time, you know, all of that. So it's very disadvantageous when the league is not on and you're going into a major competition than when the league is on. So that's why most of the leagues, they like to plan their league in a way that when the league is being played, the teams are participating in various competitions, because like that, it keeps the players informed. But with us now, of course, yes, we got to organize these off-season competitions to bring the players back, to keep them fit, to keep them fresh, to keep them ready for, you know, these major competitions. So I think Pinsville FC is doing a great deal. The Z Billion off-season competition, which is I think climaxing, also helped a lot, because that was a tournament that had lots of our players actively playing in as well. So all of the teams that be participating in the Pinsville FC Cup will also make use of the fact that they will start preparing. I got information that next month, July, almost all of the teams will start training in preparation for the new league season. So that's good, but most of them are on vacation right now. And so, yes, man, these trainings are necessary. I mean, these off-season tournaments are necessary. So let's just watch the Monserrado District. Is it the Monserrado District competition?
Yeah,
It's expected to come on.
Competition is
Okay. It's expected to come on as well.
Yeah,
Some of
the zonings are already up. The zonings are already up, and probably I can just go through them. Thought we got to find a day to discuss this one.
So most of these players who are residents in Monserrado County, of course, live in these districts. They will see that as another opportunity, except where perhaps their clubs tell them, say, nope, we don't want you playing that competition because of XYZ. But they will be there as well. So by the time we are done with all of these preseason or off-season competitions, if you notice, even in Europe, the big teams find places to go and play. They participate in competitions to get them ready for the league season. You can't sit down the entire off-season period and then just train, and then when they say the league starting tomorrow, bam, you go play your first game.
You know, to test, play some test matches.
Yeah,
to see how you can blend those players. You know, experiment some things there, and then see whether it works or it doesn't work, and then you can try to patch it up before the season starts.
Definitely.
So I've already seen some of the fixtures have been emerging already on flyers. Magini and Grand Bassa affair as Susa will take on Desmonies, where Desmonies is the champion of Grand Bassa County 3rd Division. I mean, lots of them. I see Wentan versus Lupus is already been released in various or different chat rooms. And
so you see the level of publicity with football. All right? It is not with basketball, and basketball needs to do more. I would say this square and fair. All right? It surprises me that one of the executives at the Basketball Association is a media guru, Malcolm Joseph.
But Truth, I'm sorry for interrupting. This has got to come with finances. I mean, nobody comes to run the media activity of the Basketball Federation or Association and doesn't get paid. I think the LFA is very fortunate to have the backings of CAF and FIFA to support them in the form of millions of dollars, for the programs and to run their operations and so forth, so they are able to recruit a strong media team to publicize the work they do. And I think the Basketball Federation, like all other federations, or most other federations, are very unfortunate. Okay, they don't have a parent body that support them in that form. The last time we spoke with Calvin Dix, he was like, their budget is around about 76,000 annually. That 76,000 budget cannot even be used for one female U17 travel. Okay, do you imagine that? And you're talking about a female U15, U17, U20, and senior national team, male U15, U17, U20, U23, child team, senior national team. So I think football, even though they always crave for more support and say support hasn't been much, well, as compared to the other sports, I think they've been fortunate. So if FIBA have been chipping in money and money coming from other sources, and 76,000 budget children, that's just too small, you may think. Well, and it's easier to raise such a money, you may think, but they're just not in the position to do so.
Yeah, in Liberia, yes, probably we say football is the man with the one eye in the land of the blind. All right? So in Liberia, football itself, that is supposed to be the number one sport that is being assisted, is still crying for money. So it is a one-eyed man in the land of the blind. But that's where the problem is, Ben. Because there's no money for basketball, there's no publicity. And because there's no publicity, nobody is going to watch the games. Okay? It's just as simple as that. Look, right now in the world, the media, especially the social media that has now come in, there is absolutely nothing you can do right now that involves you letting the public know, okay, that involves public participation. There is absolutely nothing you can do right now in the world without the media. So whether you have money or you don't have money, to succeed to sell what is for the public, you must use the media. And not just using the media, but adequately and properly using the media is key. Very, very key. So the basketball people will sit down, they will cry and say they didn't get money, but they will have to be innovative, because at the end of the day, you want the people to come to the basketball game. You want the public to know that you are competing. In that way, if, for example, you're going for sponsorship, all right, and the sponsors see that, I mean, they gave you their billboard, you plan their billboard, you do everything, and they just come and see only 5 people watching the game. And they say, okay, but chief, they came online, go online, people following online, and they went online, they see only 13 or 10 followers. Then what are we investing our money in? It's not charity.
So then they should employ or have strong media teams.
Yes,
to be able
that's
to
my
propagate
point.
their message.
That's my point. You don't have necessarily to spend money all around, but just have a media team that will be robust and be able to get through all of those major, social media, sporting sites or whatever sites, and be able to make the necessary contact with all of their guys on various radio platforms, and also they will be able to take those things to the. You start like that, build a relationship, and then later on, who not let better things. Of course, later on, people will know that there is potential within basketball. If we can start helping them now, tomorrow there will be something. But you need a relationship, and that is what is lacking right now. The association does not have that relationship with people in the media who will be able to ensure that every time Ben picks up his phone, he goes 1 or 2, he sees something about basketball. All right? He goes on his other page, he sees something about basketball. All right? He turns on the radio, the sports program comes on, Ben loves to listen to the sports news. The sports program comes on, somebody is talking about basketball. You pick up the newspaper to read, you go to the sports column, there's something about basketball. So like that, you start to get the people involved. All right? But as it stands, I think it's a serious problem, and they need to work on the media side there. We know there's no money. We all know that.
But even 10, 12 years back, when I used to actively cover the basketball game, there was good attendance at the sports commission introducing there. Very good attendance. I mean, it was one sport that had more attendance than football at some stage. To be
at one stage, and there was now a debate as to if basketball is the #1 sport in Liberia to football, because of the very attendance you're talking about. You went to football matches, you barely see anybody on the field. And one of the reasons by then was also the lack of proper media publicity for football games. But now football is trying to, even though the fields are not full yet, but with what is happening to football, where football is now being played in the community. For example, you go to Tusa Field, you see Leska, LPRC Oilers, those are neighboring teams in the Gardnersville belt. When they come into play, all the people in Gardnersville that love football, they want to go there and cheer. All right? So you see the crowd coming up. Some team from all sides going to play one team from Gardnersville. You see the crowd coming because they want to cheer Gardnersville. It becomes a community thing. Okay? So for basketball, we are far from there yet, but with the level of publicity like we had before with basketball, my man, we were picking, coming up. We used to, at the time I was in Looking Down, and Bushra Boo is playing, the entire Looking Down will come. Because we knew something from Looking Down was coming. All of us went to watch the game. Okay? There was one time we had a lot of guys from Looking Down playing for Oilers. Pakita Williams, Eddie Patton, most of the guys were coming from Looking Down playing for LPRC Oilers. We used to go cheer them. Okay? So but the publicity was there. But now it's not.
Well, we can't do anything. We just have to say we're going to keep trying. Melvin Josh disappointed us. Agreed to come on the platform. He doesn't come. He's been called a plethora of time. He refuses to pick his call. And then he's being called by me. He doesn't know. And he picks the call. Shame on you, bro. We've got to go, Trojan. Yeah.
Well, these things happen. I've been in this business for more than 10, 11 years, 12 years going on. And there are times you prepare for the show, everything, you've spoken with your guest the previous night, and you say, well, your show should, I will be there. Don't worry. Next day we'll be there. And you come on the show, you even announce that, like we did, that this guest will be coming. And then as soon as you take a break, then you see someone, a message appear, oh, sorry, I can't come.
I think that is much better if the supposed guest communicates to you and say,
but I mean, in the middle of the show already, then the guest says, I can't come. And right there, you're like, wow. But the thing is, the guy out there doesn't care. All the man knows, give him his show.
When you don't make
no excuses.
When you don't make a phone call back to say, oh, you can make it to the show, then that's a shame on the occasion of this one. And not for the first time we've had to experience similar situation, but it's almost closure time. Trojan, anything else?
No, nothing else. Just to say that we are continuing to make sure sports grows in Liberia. Intel Sports is here for that purpose. And like we said, this is the most followed sports platform online in Liberia, talking about Intel Sports. The opportunity is here for all you business people to sort of sell. Sports Talk, of course, is seeking sponsorship. And of course, if you want that business to sell, allow Sports Talk and Intel Sports to sell it for you.
Well, Trojan couldn't have said it better. It's a very cold Wednesday evening out there. This is our draw, a close to this presentation. Many thanks to Joel Freeman, always unveiled and making himself available to come on the platform. Thanks for watching, and let's say goodbye. Be back here on Friday.